Hey there, welcome to Abundant Source Raw, and in this video I wanted to talk about circumcision. Circumcision to me just is one of the most barbaric and crazy operations that I can think of, and it's something that one of the only topics that can really seems to bring out a bit of emotion in me sometimes, because it is a bit personal for me. I was circumcised, and I know that I still have some emotional stuff that is caused by that. It really is such an unpleasant thing to think about, all these men who are just being torn away from this natural part of their body from one of their first days here living on this planet. It's just a terrible thing that these doctors would just totally mutilate a young infant, a helpless little boy, and take away part of his body. And the child has no say in this. It's very cruel, and it just blows my mind that it's become such a normal practice. I really don't know that much about how circumcision got started. It was a Jewish tradition, and I just don't understand how it got so popular and so accepted around the world. I know there's a whole lot of propaganda, just like everything else that is sort of in that evil category. Pharmaceuticals and just the medical industry is mostly about profit, and we are being misled. But this one just totally blows my mind, because it's like circumcision just seems so obviously cruel and irrelevant to your health. It doesn't seem like it would have anything to do to improve your body, and yet more men are being circumcised than not today. And so I just want to make this video to raise awareness about this, and to just get this out there. And I really think that circumcision should end as soon as possible. I think it's kind of ridiculous, and it's incredibly traumatizing, and most men are going to have emotional and psychological discord and trauma throughout their entire life because of circumcision, and most of them will not be consciously aware of this. A lot of problems and emotional upsets in men have to do with the trauma that they experienced when they were a young, helpless infant who had the skin of their penis torn off of them, and were basically separated from their wholeness. It brings up a lot of issues with, abandonment and love and things like that when you're at that young age, and most people don't realize this, and it's something that stays with you for a very long time until you can discover it and address it. A beautiful baby boy comes into this world and needs nurturing and love, and he needs protection. He can't make his own decisions. He can't do anything for himself, and the first thing that he's really introduced to is tools of torture and trauma, and he's completely mutilated. And it's the worst experience that you could put your son through, and I don't believe that anybody has any right to take that away from a boy right when he's born and can't even decide these things for himself. Why the heck would we be designed with this foreskin, protecting the head of the penis, if it was meant to just be surgically removed by doctors, and like it's useless? And it's completely not useless. That foreskin has incredible functioning that most guys will never get to experience because it was ripped away from them at birth. The foreskin is basically connected to, at least when you're first born, connected to the glands of the head of the penis. And basically when you are surgically removing the foreskin, you're ripping apart the foreskin from the glands to surgically remove it. And another function of the glands is to keep the head lubricated and to create an environment for, proper health in the penis. Basically, men are supposed to have this foreskin, and it creates a perfect environment for beneficial, healthy, hygienic bacteria to grow in the foreskin. And basically we've cut that off. Now the head of the penis is incredibly dry, and you've completely destroyed the environment for having optimal health and beneficial bacteria growth on the penis. The head is supposed to be pretty much moist at all times. The foreskin excretes different lubricants, or mucosa lubricant, that is supposed to be covering and protecting the head of the penis at all times, and most men don't have that. A lot of doctors and people say the benefit of getting rid of the foreskin is that it's easier to keep it clean and be hygienic. You can more easily clean the penis, but that's ridiculous. You've just taken away our natural mechanism for natural hygiene. And they're trying to tell you that it's more hygienic not to have it. What the foreskin is for, the head of the penis is basically like the eyelids for your eye. It would be like, as an infant, having your eyelids surgically removed, and now you just have no eyelid lubrication. Your eyes are going to be always dry, and they'll never have perfect health again, because you have destroyed a natural mechanism for their optimal health. And that's essentially what you're doing to the penis is basically like having your eyelids surgically removed at infancy. It's crazy to think about. And it also provides different natural pleasurable functions during intercourse. Most men will never get to experience what whole natural intercourse feels like, because they don't have that piece of their penis anymore that gives them that sensation that the foreskin gives. And we just feel kind of cheated. We feel like we've just been robbed, and there was nothing we could do about it. We have no say in it, and we grow up, and another benefits doctors will tell you is, it'll look bigger and they'll have more confidence. And it's so stupid. It's ridiculous. And these doctors, they don't care about the health of your child. They are basically looking at your young boy's penis as a big check that they can take to the bank. Every time they perform circumcision, they're getting paid more money. And that's all that they're really thinking about, is how they can make the most profit off of your newborn baby. And it's just become so accepted and so normalized. I actually have a cousin who, he was in school playing football, and he would, shower with the other guys in the locker room, and he was not circumcised. And I think this was a few years ago. He was probably 15 or 16 maybe, when this happened. And he was shouting with all these other guys who were circumcised, and he felt almost ashamed of himself, and he felt like he was odd for not being circumcised, and he felt like he was almost not natural. And it's very frustrating when you've got the majority of males who are circumcised, and now people who are natural and whole almost feel like the odd ones out, and they are, but they're the natural ones. They're the ones that are whole. And so unfortunately, he was very self-conscious about it, and at around the teenage years, he got circumcised. It was his decision to go get circumcised because he felt embarrassed for naturally having his wholeness intact. And so I think that's kind of a shame. And it's just like people who are living life to the fullest and eating raw vegan, and it's very tough because we are the odd ones out, and we feel like we're different, and it can be really hard, even though we're the ones that are doing the right thing and being natural and trying to make a difference in the world. But with that, at least he was at an age where he could make a decision for himself. And I feel like you have absolutely no right to take away your son's penis, you know, an essential part of his penis before he can even make that decision. If your son grows up and one day decides that he feels the need to rip apart his penis and totally mutilate himself, then that's his decision, and you know, fine. But at the age, you know, before he's even 1 year old, right when he comes into existence, you're gonna tear him apart like that. It's very upsetting, and there's absolutely no reason for circumcision. There's nothing that it could benefit other than maybe he does feel more confident because he believes in the propaganda that's been fed to him, you know, and he feels like he's normal. But that's all lies, and it's all stupid, just misinformation that doctors and whoever else will tell you so that way they can profit. And it's not really fair to any child to have a part of their body so gruesomely taken away from them like that, and sometimes without even anesthetics. I mean, some of these doctors perform this surgery while the baby is still not under any type of numbing agent or anything like that, which I would also hate to have anesthetics being used on a baby right at birth as well. But, you know, either way, it's a tragedy, and to think that they're having their skin torn off like that without, you know, feeling the full pain of it is very upsetting. So please don't consider circumcision. I know if you're watching this channel, you probably already know most of this, but if you could share any of my videos, I would love for you to share this one. I think that awareness needs to be risen about this very quickly, and people need to know that this is ridiculous and barbaric, and that you're not even giving your child a chance to be whole. You're totally just taking that away from him right at birth. And when guys learn about this and they find out the truth, it's, I mean, most of the time they're really angry, they're pissed. Like, why did this happen to me? What the heck? I didn't have any say in this. Now I have to live with this and never get to experience what it's like to have myself fully intact and have the benefits of, you know, total health in that area. And it's not something that any man should have to go through. So please don't consider circumcision. There's no reason to do so. It's only going to be harmful and traumatizing, and to think that it's gotten so big and so normalized as a practice just is crazy to me. So that's it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please like it, comment and share, give me your opinions on the video, and let me know your thoughts on this subject. I really feel this information should be shared, so if you want to do that, then that would be amazing. But thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll talk with you in the next video.